Hello, all, and welcome back to a new episode of TV and Us, a conversation show about the TV series we just can't stop talking about. My name is Jennifer Hahn.
And I'm Sarah Callan.
And each season we focus on a different show, reviewing it episode by episode, and we invite you to watch along with us. Right now, we are reviewing Beef, and we are on episode 4, titled, love these titles, Oh, the Comfort, the Inexpressible Comfort. Just every title feels so dramatic. So I have to say it like that.
Yes. Okay. And it's so good. It's so apt for each episode.
Yeah, and it's so long too, each title. So if you haven't watched this episode yet, this is your spoiler alert. We're diving fully in. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. And come back and listen to the rest of our conversation. Okay. So Sarah, do you want to kick us off with a brief summary for episode 4?
Josh seizes his chance when Austin and Ashley find themselves stuck in the ER waiting room for hours.
All right. So in TVNS tradition, your episode title for episode 4, what is it?
Mine is Clean the Slate.
Oh, yeah, yeah. My episode title is Deductibles.
Honestly, though.
I really appreciate it.
Supposed to deduct. Moment.
Yeah, what do you mean have to pay? Okay, let's dive in. Episode 4, we are now squarely halfway through the season, which was kind of a shocking discovery because it feels like we're just getting started. But how did episode 4 land with you?
Yeah, I think this is a really fascinating episode because now we are out of the country club in an entirely different environment. And I think that this episode does a really good job of blending horror and comedy, which is really interesting. And there's this like sinister, eerie vibe this entire episode. I mean, most of it happens in a hospital. So like it's just right there to make it creepy. And this episode absolutely excels at that and does a great job of unfurling the relationship between Austin and Ashley even more, which we knew was not in a good place because she literally threw herself from a car in the previous episode. And now we see just how much that trust is eroding between the two of them while they're still maintaining the facade and saying all of the right things and seemingly doing all of the right things. And so I'm so curious how that's going to continue to unravel because this whole season so far has been so passive aggressive, and we see that again on full display here, and it's just going to get worse. So we have so much to look forward to just based on the new revelations that we get in this one episode.
Yeah. This episode, after it ended, my initial gut reaction is this is definitely not one of my favorite episodes from the season. But I think part of that is because the function it's serving is to be like a setup for what's to come. So there's a lot of quiet revelations that are being unfolded before us, and the after effects of those things won't come until a future episode. So, the realization of Eunice and Ashley going behind Austin's back, like that is going to definitely heat up soon. And so this feels like a transition episode, like we're moving from one state to a more dramatic, more intense state, perhaps for the second half of the season. So I think that there's some interesting moments, particularly with the Gatorade, that I think were my favorite parts of the episode. And the concept of showing, not telling, and these small little actions revealing the fundamental nature of the way Austin is wired was the most exciting part of the episode to me.
Yeah. He is a fascinating character. Like, I really don't know what to do with him, if I'm being honest, because he seems so earnest, and yet he's also kind of untrustworthy too. And it's this interesting mix of like, he can't say no to anyone. He's trying to be too nice. And then, of course, that is at the expense of those who are closest to him, which is Ashley. And so I think that that's a really interesting piece of it, that he is, yeah, he doesn't seem to have much of a spine in
Hmm.
certain situations, and yet he's also off with Eunice, like plotting and doing whatever. But maybe that was mostly driven by her and not by him. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see, especially when Ashley is just stewing in anger and grief and pain, and
Mm.
seems to be kind of isolated and alone in that. Even though Austin is like trying to check in, she doesn't know how to let him in to be checked in on. Which, hey man, totally get it. I understand. I'm the same way. I'm fine. You don't need to check in on me. So I get it. No shade. But I think those two divergent paths that these characters are going on are very, very interesting. And both of their battles are so internal, but then they're expressed or they leak out in these really opposite ways. So that's just going to be fascinating to see how their characters clash as we go through the remaining 4 episodes.
Yeah, yeah. I think Austin is slowly becoming one of the more interesting characters to me because there's such a wide chasm between his understanding of himself and what is actually happening. He seems to think he is this righteous, earnest, kind, uh, righteous character, but he's not, and that amount of delusion I think is really interesting. And part of his choice to uh, give the red Gatorade away um, is the people pleasing, which we've seen in the past episodes. But there's a new emerging part that I really love that the episodes circle back to, which is his desire to just be useful and to be like able to provide and to be needed. And so I loved how the episode comes back to the Gatorade bit with another patient saying, "Hey, like I heard you were helpful with the vending machine. Can you help me too?" And so he leaves Ashley to go help this random stranger with the vending machine, which on its surface, it's such a noble act. But when the priorities clashed against each other, he chose this like insatiable need to be helpful and valuable and needed and prove his worth more than staying by his partner's side who like whose ovary might explode at any moment. And so I thought those were such fascinating, like character defining moments. And he seems entirely unaware of them. Like I think Ashley, Josh, Lindsay seem to be a little bit more aware of and choosing to lean into aggression and pettiness and chaos, but Austin's really disconnected from himself. And that's fun.
It is really fun. And you never know, like, is he going to figure it out? Is he going to get some self awareness, or will he remain completely oblivious? And that is part of the fun journey that we're going on. I also love that, once they're back at home, there is a red Gatorade on her bedside
Yeah.
table. And so I'm so appreciative of this show's intentionality in like, okay, this was such a focus of this episode. Let's bring it full circle to when she is recuperating and she has her red Gatorade, which she probably got herself, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Or like even if he were to get it for her, it's in a situation where there's no clashing of priorities. So he's gonna be the noble guy. But otherwise, giving the red Gatorade to a random stranger to feel something is going to be his choice and his MO. I love that whole bit. I think it's a genius moment of like a character defining, character illuminating detail, and we learn so much from it. So,
Also, how unhinged do you have to be to stock an entire vending machine with just yellow Gatorades? Like, that is absolutely the worst flavor of Gatorade. She was like ranking her Gatorades, and I was like, this is
yep.
correct. Absolutely no to a yellow. I will take a red. I will take a blue. No to yellow. Purple is okay. Yes. And so the fact that, I don't know, whoever this person was who stocked that machine just has his petty pants on in the morning, only stocking it with the worst flavor. And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. the way that that scene is shot too is really fun. They're playing with like close-ups and zooms ins and punch-ins, and like you mentioned, that blending of horror and comedy point from earlier. That's so in this episode, it feels like something is orchestrating this and possessing him as he's trying to fixate on his choice. And the vending machine becomes like comes to life in a weird way as it's like taunting him. So the way that that's shot visually and technically is really great.
Well, and even when he finds the other vending machine that is all red Gatorades, is this
Yes.
like big like moment. We've made it. We've found it. We've found the thing that we're looking for.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
good. Yeah. Uh, you mentioned earlier that this predominantly entire episode is set in a hospital, and there seems to be a very clear commentary and point that this episode's making around the state of the healthcare industry. I thought it was a little bit like obvious, and I would have liked to see a little bit more. I think the most interesting parts of this commentary is the like kind of the the hairiness of the workers and them being like on the last hour of their 16-hour shifts and just no longer this like kind, helpful, gracious patient. Like everyone is so exhausted and high strung that they are just trying their best. And so you see a lot of like iciness from the hospital staff, which I think is not often shown in media, and the real dynamics of like how to be a human and work insane hours and still like smile and show up and nurturing. So I think that was an interesting, like clear like point that the show is driving home around the healthcare industry and the failings that it has today. Tell me your thoughts about that.
Yes, yes. Failings, which are many, and not as a result of, the people that are doing the hard work, like
Yeah.
nurses who are not paid enough, who are not taken care of when they take care of us. But I mean, our the healthcare industry, the health insurance industry in our country is so messed up that I was like, yeah, this is heavy-handed, but I'm having a great time. Anytime she was freaking out about insurance or the deductible or anything, I was like, yes, girl. Like I I feel that. I know what that feels like. Yes, this
Yeah.
is ridiculous. So it is over the top. It is a heavy-handed, but I was like, yep, keep going, do what you got to do. But I think that's the beauty of kind of this like ominous horror feel in it too, because
Mhm.
like if you've only ever lived in the US, you've only ever experienced like our healthcare system, you might not know that other things exist. And so I think that addition of it being filmed kind of like a horror film while they're trying to navigate this hospital also underscores that like we can do better. It
Mm,
doesn't have to be like this. There are other options. And kind of so you're getting the visuals to show that something is wrong, but you're also having characters talk about the difficulties and the problems of navigating health insurance and the hospital and all of this.
yeah.
So I it was heavy-handed, but I enjoyed it. I was here for it.
Hmm. I loved how much money is consistently threaded throughout those depictions. So she's on the operating table and about to go under, and they're telling her and informing her what they're going to do, and the only thing she can think about is like, but like, and there's no choice at that point for her either. Like there, you are just giving debt, your life away to paying off a debt for a choice that understandably you are not in the right state of mind to make, but like that the moral implications of all of that is really kind of difficult, and like what is and isn't necessary and how much that's shrouded from you. I thought it was so notable that they bring that back up again after she hears about losing the ovary, which is such an emotional moment. And the first question she asks isn't an expression of emotion. It's how much did it all cost? And I loved that we kept revisiting that point because she doesn't have time to process that until later when she's home, and you get to see that breakdown happen later. But um gosh, like money is everything, and every choice is like just cost lining up. And for this young couple who's already like down bad and trying their best, like you then understand why by the time she gets to the end of the episode, she makes many choices to retaliate because the loss of what feels like almost everything and the entire loss of control is more than enough to prompt you to like just lash out in any way you can because you're now stuck in a hole, stuck in a possible situation, stuck, lost the like potential of building a future family. Like just so much is taken from you that she can't help but figure out how to find vengeance, take back something.
Yeah. Even if just to like feel better, that didn't
Yeah.
change anything, but you might feel a little bit better. You let out some steam. But I think it's fascinating how um, Ashley in particular is in such a different place than she was even 2 episodes ago. Cause it was, I think, the second episode where they were driving away from Josh and Lindsay's house. And she was like, we made it. We got everything. We have health
Yeah.
insurance. Everything is fixed. Everything is fine. And now here we are, the end of episode 4, and everything is not fine. And she is worse off, emotionally, mentally, physically,
Yeah.
financially, like everything is in a worse state just a couple of episodes later. Like her whole world has kind of imploded in like 2 episodes,
Mhm.
which is quite a drastic character journey for her to go on. So, whew,
Yep.
what a wild ride she has been on. No wonder she's not okay.
We see her unraveling absolutely and
Yeah.
making some tough choices. I do one of the things I really appreciate about the show is that um, every time a character starts to be incredibly problematic in their impossible situations, um, the show has moments of showing their humanity and allows us to then recomplicate our own judgments and feelings towards a character. So, we see Ashley go behind Austin's back and text Eunice out of fear and anxiety and whatnot. And so we're like, ooh, that was not good. You should not have done that, girl. But when she's on the operating table and right before she goes under, she confesses and you see that like conscience kick in. You see that desire to do right and to do good and to be honest come through again. And so I love how much the show is vacillating and showing how the characters go back and forth constantly between um, being morally corrupt and having those moments, but then also showcasing the best of themselves as well. And so I loved that tiny little detail of the lights are fading and she's like and also can you tell Austin that I'm really sorry and I texted Eunice and just her confessing as media is pouring out of her. And yeah, as effed up of the thing she did, she knows it and that goodness in her shines through at the end. And so the show won't let us have a single-minded view of any character.
Yes. Yeah, they're all so complicated, which makes for some really, really great TV. I loved the Josh showing up journey that we go on because he shows up and it's like, oh, that's nice. You don't that's nice to go visit somebody in the hospital. Love that. Wonderful. And then he uses it for blackmail. And so I love that journey that we go on because like the nice little thought that we had about him is then dashed because he's trying to get something out of her that he wants. Again, it's all transactional, but done in this really petty way. I loved how that whole little scene unfolded.
Yeah. And him texting her too to make sure to nail that point home as well. It's not good.
No, not good
Yeah.
at all. Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't see much of Josh and Lindsay in this episode, which I think is a notable choice. It's also a shorter episode. So I wonder, pacing wise, if we're focusing a little bit on a few characters. So if the next episode, are we going to get more of a Josh and Lindsay heavy episode? It's just fascinating to see the show break the conventions of kind of an equal split amongst our two couples in the previous episode. No chairwoman part, no husband, uh, yeah. Um, the age gap is so great that I was like, son, no, husband. uh, so I'm fascinated and curious to see the pacing of when storylines heat up and then cool down.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I found myself being like, what are Josh and Lindsay up to right now while we're stuck at the hospital? You know, it's a very fun and creative episode. So I was having a good time, but I was also like, what is everybody else up to? So I'm curious, like you said, to see if the next episode is more Josh and Lindsay focused, because I feel like that would make sense. But
Which
we'll
I'm
see.
excited for.
Me too.
Yeah. I miss them. I think I'm out of the
Yeah.
two couples like more intrigued by their dynamics because their ability to passive aggressively fight is so sharp, and
Yeah.
I love that so much and I want more of that. I think it's so clever and so well designed and well written. A lot of the Ashley Austin plot lines are a little bit more like in the drama of them speaking to each other. But the years and decades of passive aggression that is built up between Josh and Lindsay, I'm just so excited.
No, I'm the same way. Like they know each other and have known each other for years and years and years. So when they are being petty and passive aggressive, like they know exactly what buttons to press because they know their partner so well, which just makes everything more juicy and exciting. So I'm
Hmm.
ready. I'm ready for more Josh and Lindsay.
Me too. Me too. And those two actors are also just like at the top of their caliber. So yeah, so good. Um, other big things, choices that episode 4 makes that we wanted to give any shout outs to.
Just a couple like quick things.
Yeah,
I loved the whole like letterboxed bit where she doesn't know about the pain scale and thinks it's like letterboxed.
so
And
funny.
man, Charles Melton's face in that scene is so perfect. You can
Yeah.
feel his like embarrassment and judgment as she is going on about letterboxed. It was just it's so funny. It also shows because we've seen Ashley kind of navigating these situations with confidence and sometimes skill. Like, even if she doesn't know exactly what she's doing, she can kind of like put it on that
Mhm.
she knows what she's doing. But then we see in this situation where she does not know this. She does not understand what this is, and then how she responds to such an embarrassing moment, I think is really interesting. So again, doing what Beef does so well of having this really funny moment, but also it's revealing so much about these characters and causing us as the audience to kind of investigate what we thought about them.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great moment and allows us to just kind of like press in a little bit more to be like, who we need to know more. We are very intrigued and very curious. Um, my couple little shout outs. Uh, I thought it was really cool seeing the kind of soundscape of the hospital and being separated by a curtain from someone who's in like very much pain and talking through like a lot of huge decision implications. There's a whole long shot at one point of like just a slow zoom into a hospital like hallway with curtains on both sides, and you hear someone explaining their cancer and their leg sores and everything. And I thought that was such a great moment to set the atmosphere. As someone who's stayed in a hospital for multiple days in an environment like that, you hear everything. You hear them having their discussions where to put the IV needle, the pain, you hear the whimperings at night. And so, like, that kind of brought me back in a very effective way. So, shout out to the show for that. Um, I thought that a funny little bit is in the opening of the scene. Ashley is bleeding from jumping out of the car, and Leona Lewis's song Bleeding Love is playing in the background, and just like a fun, silly, ridiculous little nod to the moment. So, just little moments of humor that are littered throughout, like the red Gatorade on her nightstand, like the show's attention to detail is very fun. So, I wanted to give some shout outs to that.
Another thing that I loved at the end, Ashley breaks into Josh and Lindsay's house, and you're like, okay, this is the end of the episode. What is she going to do? And she like lightly defaces an award, and I'm like,
Uh huh.
that's that's it. Obviously, what she does with the orange juice is much grosser, but like when you're in somebody's home looking to do damage, like you did very minimal damage there, my dear. So again, like revealing something about this character and also the show kind of subverting our expectations of what could be possible when Ashley is left unattended in this couple's home that she blames for all of her ills. So I think that's really interesting. So I'm curious to see what else might be coming from her, because this was not enough to fully let that rage out.
Not enough yet.
Yeah.
I was terrified for future episodes every time we get Lindsay's dog on
Yes.
screen. I
Yep.
forget the name of it. It's some very like
Burberry.
snooty name. Yes, there we go. I'm concerned for Burberry's safety because, as we know, the rule of all media is if you empathize with a dog, that could that could be the moments of great joy in said story or great tragedy. So I'm concerned that this dog is about to be collateral damage in the
Mm-hmm.
feud that is unfolding. We get to stare
Yes.
into his big brown wide eyes. Like that is not a good sign for the plot.
No, definitely not. I'm pre-upset, like Roman Roy. I am pre-grieving, because I'm certain that that dog is not long for this show, and that makes my heart sad. So I'm prepared to be very mad.
Pre-grieving.
I'm
Oh,
pre-grieving the dog because that's who I am as a person.
don't ignite my joy of Roman Roy because I this is gonna make me want to go back and watch that entire show just to see him being a little
Yes,
shit the whole time.
which is always my goal, to try and get you to watch more Succession.
Oh, it's so good. Okay. Uh well, let's give out some TVNS awards. The first category is full of beef character. Sarah's, what is your choice for this one?
My choice is the white nurse who has to put up with too much BS on a day to day basis. I was
Hmm.
like, she's full of beef and she has every right to be.
And she's not hiding it anymore
No.
either. She's just like, I'm done with everybody today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Uh, my choice for full of beef character is Austin. I'm gonna keep
Mm.
choosing him because I think he is a ticking time bomb,
Yep.
but he is also employing suppression at the moment, and that combination is really dangerous. So he's got more things to be mad about, and he doesn't express any of it yet at all. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
still faithfully coming to take care of her and whatnot. So you know he has thoughts and feelings about the whole going behind his back texting Eunice thing, and bracing myself.
Yes, as you should be. That
Hmm.
when that blow up happens, it's not going to be pretty.
No, it's gonna make Josh and Lindsay look so in love.
It's true.
Okay, heart racing moment. What is your choice for this one?
Yeah, my choice is Ashley breaking into his house because I was nervous that she was going to murder the dog.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That was my choice as well. As the ending OJ
Excellent.
scene. Oh, I love that she like stares at her hand too, as if she's contemplating whether she should do it or not. You know, like
Yeah.
this was not planned. This was just like a spur of the moment of inspiration for her. So that was a choice.
Yeah,
All right.
it was a choice. Ooh. All right. I hope you feel better, my dear.
Mm-hmm. Cutting dialogue. What's your choice for this one?
We already referenced it, but it is when Ashley asks, "How much did it cost after the
Oh,
surgery?"
yeah, yeah. That one cuts deep.
Yeah, sure
Yeah,
does.
I have that feeling too. Mm.
Yep.
My choice for cutting dialogue is Josh, who got cut by Ashley when she says to him from the room, "I don't need your help, you effing boomer." And I love that boomer is used as an insult now. So that was really good.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, I don't feel like he's that old.
But also the fact that that is like the greatest insult you could pick to really, you know, cut deep. This is where we are in life now.
Who knew?
The generations have aged. Okay, looking ahead, what are you excited to see in the second half of the season?
Yeah. we talked about, more Josh and Lindsay. Fascinated by them. I still want to know everything about Chairwoman Park because she is a queen, and I just need to know everything. The thing that I'm not excited about is the potential loss of this dog.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, I am pre-grieving that. And then, like you mentioned, Austin's impending blow up, because you can only repress all of those things for so long, and then they have to come out somehow. Like, obviously he's like going on runs and like working out, and that helps in the suppression, but also you're going to have to deal with your feelings, my guy,
Yeah, it's coming for
sooner or
you.
later.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are a great list of things. I honestly, I think the thing that I'm most interested in the show is just Josh and Lindsay. I'm less and less with each passing episode interested in Ashley and Austin's relationship. I think it's it's doing what it needs to do. And then Chairwoman Park and that whole bit, like as I mentioned in the previous episode, not interesting to me at all. I just want to see like sparring between these two characters, Josh and Lindsay, that know each other deeply, like you mentioned. But I think they're exciting to me because I think they feel incredibly competent in their ability to play ball with each other. And that's just more exciting to me. Whereas I think Ashley and Austin are just kind of unraveling themselves and each other becomes collateral damage. Whereas Josh and Lindsay are very pointed and targeted and structured in their sparring, which I think is just more interesting to me because it requires a greater level of manipulation, a greater level of craft that perhaps is more fun for me to watch. So, yeah, I am honestly that's what I'm here for the show for the rest of the season is just the two of them.
Honestly, I'm here for that. Like, to me, it is Josh and Lindsay and then everybody else. Like, as much as I love Chairwoman Park and I want to know everything about her, like Josh and Lindsay to me are the show, and then everybody else is kind of like adding color around them. But yeah, I'm not invested in Austin and Ashley. It is always entertaining to watch people kind of unravel, but yeah, Josh and Lindsay are definitely the main event of this show. So I'm ready to get back to them.
Me too. And pacing wise, I wish we just spent more time with them as a central thread with these other
Mm,
intersecting agents of chaos, understandably so. But the show is a little bit more evenly balanced with
mm.
Ashley and Austin. And there's, I'm sure, people that like are more fascinated by the relationship. But for me, I would love for Ashley and Austin to be these like, um, comets that are colliding into their storyline and wreaking havoc versus the show's
Mm.
focus and attention and spotlight being on them. So maybe that's why this episode is also just less interesting to me compared to the other three. So let's get Josh and Lindsay episode 5, please.
I hope so. I'm
Right?
ready. I'm ready for that
So good.
chaos, that pettiness, that passive aggressive manipulation. Let's freaking go.
Mm-hmm. So pumped.
What is wrong with us that we get really, really excited about watching characters that are just terrible and love to manipulate each other?
And the thing is, like, it's interesting when you're watching like the varsity team do it versus
Yes.
the little league team wiffle ball team do it with Ashley and Austin. I'm like, no, give us the star players that have perfected this craft. That's what I want to watch. You know, we should.
Yeah.
It'd be fascinating if we did like a thought exercise on like uh Logan Roy, Roman Roy, Kendall Roy, Shiv Roy, and then throw in. Honestly, I think
Wow.
Lindsay would be able to keep up. I think
I think
Josh is
so
out of
too.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that Josh could,
No.
but Lindsay I think could. Like, I feel like Lindsay could be on like Shiv's level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In the right environment, she could
Yeah.
shine.
I mean, Lindsay even said it a couple episodes ago. We have so many more years of being petty, and that is what we want to watch. Is we
Yes.
want people to excel at their pettiness. And that is what
Mm-hmm.
Josh and Lindsay do.
Yep. Yep. So, but you never know. Charles Melton's character could be the Tom Wamsgams of beef. So don't underestimate the ones that look all innocent. You never know.
Maybe he's more of a cousin Greg. Like,
well,
we'll see.
He's
We'll
got
see.
it. He's got it.
Yeah.
Once he locks in, he just hasn't locked in yet, but once he locks in, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
We're only halfway
see,
through. So
we'll see the Vader transformation for him. Yeah.
We need 4 more episodes. We're going to find out exactly where Austin goes, and we will find his succession parallel at the end of the show, because right now we don't have all the information.
Yeah. Is he Tom or is he Greg? Stay tuned to find out with us. This episode got so strange. It's so funny.
Yeah, it sure did. But you know what? We had a good time.
So
hopefully everybody listening or watching did too.
We just love to do thought exercises of hypotheticals of characters we like. And that's interesting. Comparative lit right here.
Yep. We also just are obsessed with Succession. So there is that too.
You know what? You are responsible for this because you brought up the iconic line from my favorite character. So thank you for your service to humanity today.
Happy to be of help.
Okay, well, this is our review and discussion of episode 4 of Beef, season 2. We had a great time. Go watch it, come back, and continue our journey with episode 5. Are we going to get the Josh and Lindsay episode? Are we going to see the varsity team duke it out with each other? Stay tuned to find out. And we've got things are heating up. So the second half of the season, I think, is going to be kind of wild. And I'm bracing myself. Will Burberry survive? That's the other major question of this narrative arc. So hope everyone has an amazing week, and we'll talk again with y'all very soon. Thank you for listening to today's episode of TV and Us. We are part of the Movie Archer podcast network, so check out moviearcher.com to learn more.
Our name sums it up. We're big fans of TV and the powerful ways we can connect with each other and the world around us. This podcast is about all of us and our shared stories.
You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you tune into your favorite shows. Drop us a rating and review, letting us know your thoughts about today's episode.
You can connect with us on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at tvnuspod, or email us at tvnuspod@gmail.com. Check out our website, andusmedia.co, for the latest on TV and Us and our other podcast, Movies and Us.
We hope you have an amazing week, and we can't wait to see y'all very soon.